Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unlike any other YouTube channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, mine exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So, if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe. So, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are going to be testing out, can you still use a team from Season 1 in Season 10? Good news for everyone, it's a completely non-XL team. The team I'm talking about is going to be a team made famous by Toshi, so shout out to Toshi. This isn't my creation, so credit where credit is due. We are going to be using a Legacy Community Gyarados. The Gyarados that I am going to be using has Aqua Tail. I believe the one that he used probably had Hydro Pump or Outrage, as the Magic Carp Community hadn't happened yet. Then we're going to have a double Legacy Lapras with Ice Shard, Ice Beam and second move of Surf in the back. And rounding off the team, we need a real good anti-steal, the one and only GOAT of the Ultra League, Shadow Swampert. In this team, we are going to be rocking Earthquake, as I don't really think you need the Sludge Wave coverage. Back in Season 1, you didn't have many grass types, Trevadent wasn't a thing, nor were XL, so will this team work? Well, we're about to find out. We will be leading Shadow Gyarados for the duration of the video. And in Game 1, we pick up something else that wasn't around then, XL Abomasnow. Luckily for us, our flying type does have a sub-water type in, so both Energy Ball and Weather Ball will only be neutral. We're going to tank this first, Weather Ball, and we're going to look to try and get a debuff off with the Crunch. Unfortunately, we do let a Powder Snow through, but I'm hoping this Crunch does give us a debuff. Crunch lands, does big damage, we don't get a debuff. However, we can allow our Gyarados to go down and farm it down with Lapras without having to worry about taking a charge move. So we do lose Switch, we get a nice energy lead on Lapras. Not too many things do want to come into a loaded Lapras. They come in with a Machamp. Things aren't looking promising. Machamp has a fairly good matchup with the remainder of our team. However, Shadow Machamp users love to shield, hoping to draw both shields with Lapras. We do draw the first shield. We get to a second Surf as this opponent is getting really greedy. This Surf should draw the second shield now as the Ice Shard damage is really digging in. We now switch out into Swampert and we actually CMP tie. That's a mistake from the opponent. They had over 2 cross chops, so they should have thrown before we hit the CMP. The CMP means all that energy the Machamp's got is going to go to waste. Will Shadow Swampert be able to clutch out this first game? Down goes the Machamp. In the back is a Granbull. I know this matchup. You don't want to go Hydro Cannon, as one Earthquake will be enough to KO. So the big Earthquake comes through. High Granbull, bye Granbull. And we're off to a 1-0 start. So despite things looking really bleak in Game 1, the team comp does work really well and we're off to a 1-0 start. Let's see if we pick up some slightly better alignment in Game 2. In Game 2, we lead our Shadow Gyarados into Umbreon. This is fairly neutral, however, the Shadow Gyarados does actually lose this in the Zero Shield, so I usually like to build up some energy and look to dip into Lapras hoping to catch a charge move. Unfortunate for me, we don't actually catch a charge move, however, the Umbreon is throwing us energy. This means not only do we waste some of the Umbreon's energy, if they do switch out now, our switch timers are misaligned. It looks like the opponent is staying in as they've dumped back-to-back foul plays. We're now going to start spamming out Surfs. This is really why I like the Shadow Lapras. Normal Lapras doesn't really hit hard with Surf. However, even the bulky Umbreon is starting to get chipped with just Ice Shards and one Surf alone. We've already got them down to half health. I already know that we can tank this next foul play, and I think we'll get to the Ice Beam. I go for the Ice Beam here as I don't think I'll make back-to-back Surfs. I'm hoping to CMP tie this Umbreon on the Ice Beam. That would be absolute best case scenario. We do CMP tie, so that was really great on our behalf. The Umbreon is energy dry and we can now farm it down with whatever Pokemon I choose to come in with. We've got energy already loaded on the Gyarados. So now I'm waiting out my switch timer as we are misaligned and I'm choosing to Mud Shot down with Swampert. My switch timer is back up, so even if we come in with a hard counter, I can switch out into the Gyarados. They come in with Lugia. This isn't fantastic as Lugia is so bulky, 2 Hydro Cannons isn't going to KO. We deny the Dragon Tail, you can see that it isn't going to be enough with 2. I am going to have to shield up these Sky Attacks. It would put us deep into the red and we would get farmed down. I over farm heavily. I know though if I get one more Hydro Cannon off, I can then chip into that Gyarados with the loaded Aqua Tail and definitely burn a shield. Hydro Cannon comes through, combo play into the Gyarados. This Aqua Tail is definitely going to draw a shield. They're not going to want that Lugia to go down with all their energy. The opponent now switches out into a Nidoqueen. With us already chipped down, this is going to be a losing matchup. However, Shadow Aqua Tails are no joke from the attack-weighted Gyarados. You can see it does big damage. We're not going to shield this up as we know that Shadow Swampert is going to be the key to victory. Poison Fang comes through. I'm really hoping I can put this thing into Mud Shot down range. They're now 3 short of the Earth Power. This is a Poison Fang. I'm not shielding. I'm going to commit to the Mud Shot down and look to get to back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Poison Fang doesn't do a lot. We've now got the back-to-back Hydro Cannons locked and loaded. We need a denial. We get the denial. This Hydro Cannon will draw the shield. And unfortunately for Lugia, this second Hydro Cannon is going to take game 2. So once again, triple water is still proven to be powerful. GG's to that opponent. Love to see the Lugia spice. Moving on into game 3 of the video. We pick up a dreadful lead against Sylveon. Obviously our Dragon Breaths are resisted. So once again, I build up to at least a crunch and now make a dip into Lapras. Once again, the opponent does stay in. They're throwing after 8. This is just going to be a non-stab Psyshock. We don't need to shield as Lapras is super bulky. They now switch out into Swampert. Swampert isn't a Lapras counter. They are going to have to go for an Earthquake to KO as Hydro Cannon would be resisted. We do get the Swampert really low. They CMP tire, so great counting from the opponent. And if they do throw an Earthquake, they will take us out. Earthquake does take us out, however Gyarados is a great answer to Swampert. So I wait out my switch time, I'll once again bring back in the Gyarados. I don't really even want to take a Hydro Cannon as I know Hydro Cannon will put us dangerously low and they could snipe with the Charmer. Aqua Tail comes through, I now fire off one more Aqua Tail at this Charmer and now I'm going to have to make a swap into Swampert. Aqua Tail gets the shield, let's see what's in the back. We bring in our Swampert. The opponent is staying in. They look to make a catch onto the Giratina. They're unsuccessful. This Earthquake from a Shadow is going to do big damage. I'm hoping it goes unshielded. However, the opponent shields. We're now in a tricky spot. So I build up once again to the Earthquake. The win con for us here is going to be get this Giratina low. We need to Dragon Breath down and hope Aqua Tail is enough to take out the Charmer. I'm not going to shield up Swampert. Swampert is essentially dead weight to me. Unfortunately, Dragon Claw doesn't take us out. They get a bit more farm. We need to make sure that we can farm this down. Throwing a move is pretty irrelevant from the opponent at this stage as we've got 2 shields. So they should just be committing to the farm down. Once again, they throw. We don't sneak a move, which is unfortunate. However, the health range looks like we aren't going to make the Aqua Tail. They switch out. We get the Aqua Tail, and unfortunately, we are sniped. We just lose that game. We are 1 Dragon Breath away from reaching our move. Moving on into the next battle, we pick up another dreadful lead. They have a Powder Snow, Alolan Ninetales. They switch out into Swampert. Once again, this isn't a great response, especially as they were really slow on the switch and we sneak an Ice Shard. I know as a Swampert user, you need to go Earthquake, so I correctly shield an Earthquake. I'm now baiting with a Surf. Surf will not KO from this range, however, Ice Beam will do big damage. We draw the shield, we now get to the Ice Beam. This Ice Beam will put the Swampert pretty much KO. Might be 1 Ice Shard short. We actually, 2 Ice Shards short. That's even better. We've now got some residual energy. Let's see what they come back in with. And the opponent leaves the match. So whatever's in the back, really didn't want to see Lapras. Post your comments down below what you think was in the back. That was a great matchup for us. Despite the really rough lead, Lapras absolutely destroyed that Swampert and the opponent backed out. Even though Swampert is the GOAT, that's a matchup I really doesn't want to be in. Speaking of Swampert matches you don't want to be in, Shadow Gyarados once again is something you don't want to be in. They're throwing the Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately for us, the Shadow Gyarados does take quite a lot of resisted damage. I now build up towards the Aqua Tail, hoping that I can Aqua Tail and farm down. Unfortunately, I cannot. You see, I attempt to catch the next Aqua Tail Hydro Cannon on my Lapras. I'm unsuccessful. We tank the next one, and I've decided as they're staying in, they must have something weak to Gyarados. Once again, I try and catch the move. This time, we are successful. So you see, with this team, it's really nice to bank that move on your Gyarados, especially if they've got something like a Giratina or Cresselia in the back. Banking a crunch can be clutch. They now switch out into Umbreon. We've seen this matchup in a previous battle. This is fairly good for the Shadow variant. You can see just 1 Surf does do around 30%, and Umbreon is an absolute tank. They're firing a charge move. We are going to outpace them once again to the next Surf. Unfortunately, I went for the extra move and we do get denied. Umbreon once again fires a foul play. We are getting quite low. However, I know that I am going to outpace him to this back-to-back Surf. They're now one snarl away from the move, so once again I am hoping to CMP tie him on the next one. I fire one Ice Shard. This Surf should be a CMP tie if the opponent has fired their move. Either that or they're going to have to let it go. They let it go in the 2 shield. They've got a Talonflame in the back. We draw a shield, or we are going to draw a shield I should say, with this Surf, as they know it's going to do big damage. We've also got the Gyarados with the Aqua Tail loaded, so I make a swap into my Swampert. I've been hit with a Brave Bird in the past with 2 shields up, so I do shield correctly a Brave Bird. That's absolutely huge. I now fire off this Hydro Cannon. We're at the back-to-back, so the play here is to fire this first one, wait for them to fire and Incinerate, which they do, fire in the middle of the Incinerate animation. That ensures they cannot catch. Hydro Cannon lands, takes them out, and we're going to be able to Mudshot down the Swampert. So GG's to that opponent. So I'll go back over that last play. When you see Pokemon using really long turn, quick moves like Confusion, Incinerate, etc., wait for their opponent to fire off that move, and then you can throw in the middle of the animation, which essentially means they cannot catch. If you was to fire immediately, they could have spammed the swap and they could have caught that Hydro Cannon on the 1 HP Swampert, which would have been tragic. But you can see we managed to go 4-1 in that set, and we was only one quick move away from a potential 5-0. I don't actually know how much Aqua Tail does to Sylveon, however I think it would have been pretty close to KOing, as Shadow Gyarados does hit really hard. So that was the team, completely non-XL, triple Shadow, triple Water. It's all the way from Season 1, it still works in Season 10. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.